know how long I've been waiting for this show to come back? Alright, I've been waiting for eons! Look at me! Look at me! In 2018, when season 3 premiered, my dumbass dressed up in his fucking black suit, baby. That shit was fucking fire, dude! And yeah, I could pretend to be blind because I had a family member who was blind. Well, until he passed away, but hey, I had to guide him everywhere he had to go, alright? But does this show live up to what Netflix has built over the years? I guess we'll have to see. In all seriousness, yes, I absolutely fucking love the Netflix Daredevil series. So when I was waiting for this show, hearing all the updates and the promises and the scarier updates where they delayed and had to do a whole bunch of rewrites and reshoots, all of us fans were fucking worried because the updates were not all that positive, especially since the fact that they were going with the show replacing actors and getting rid of actors. As a matter of fact, in case you don't remember, they were not gonna bring back Foggy and Karen. Oh, and they were gonna replace the original actress for Vanessa with an Asian actress who I do like, but it's very clear that this was a diversity option. And they just wanted to maintain the stereotype of white man, Asian woman thing, you know? I think I speak for everyone here that we were all excited and happy for Karen and Foggy to be returning, for the original actress for Vanessa returning as well. I don't understand what was so difficult with that decision, Marvel or Disney, whoever's controlling things behind the scenes. If something is really popular and successful and fans love it, why do you need to change anything? You can improve upon it and increase the budget, but why the fuck did you initially think that we were just gonna fall in love with a franchise with new characters except the main guy who we all know is born to play Daredevil? And you know, this seems to be a very touchy topic that I don't think I'm gonna hear a lot of reviewers mention because they don't want to get canceled, but thankfully I am a colored person, so I will talk about the diversity thing that Disney has going on with this series. But let's get into the first 2 episodes here, non-spoiler of course, and then afterwards we'll get into spoiler territory. I don't really have a comprehensive idea of when Daredevil Born Again takes place, but it is in the modern day MCU, especially since now that it is confirmed to be MCU all correlated and the previous seasons kinda. It's all over the place and confusing, but all you need to know is that yes, it is happening in present day, along with Captain America Brave New World and all the current Marvel projects. Episode 1 was totally fucking insane, y'all. I mean, I can't believe they took this direction, but also at the same time, I can't really say I'm surprised. We'll get a little bit more into that later in spoilers. But it's very obvious from the start that the budget is a lot more higher compared to what the Netflix series had. The lens, the cinematography, the style, all of the background, foreground, the CGI, everything is just taken way up to Marvel Disney levels of fucking standards. But it's also done at a fault because there were some janky ass looking scenes where the CGI was just super goddamn iffy. I mean, I didn't know what was actually real or not, and some of the action sequences, some of the moves that the actors or maybe CGI persons were doing just looked and felt so fake. The tightness and intensity that we've come to expect from Daredevil fights as presented in the Netflix series just was not here. The way this show is being shot, especially with all the VFX, special effects, CGI, a lot of it just ruined some of the scenes for me, ruined some of the moments. All mainly in the opening of this first episode. It was still pretty badass. I just wish they cut back on the CGI and got a little closer with the camera. Overall, it's quite the shocking introduction to this new series, and it kind of disappointed me because after some thought, it made me realize something very horrific. Matt Murdock, Foggy Nelson, and Karen Page are all, of course, a team still doing defense attorney stuff, you know, the usual gist. They all still feel the same, and that's the best I can ask for from Marvel and Disney, to not destroy the characters that we've fallen in love with. And of course, like you've seen in the trailers, Wilson Fisk is back again, the Kingpin. He's back again and running for mayor of New York City. Vincent D'Onofrio, I hope I'm saying his last name right, is fantastic. Of course, he is amazing, and it's great to see him back. We do have two newcomers here that have a bit of a presence in this show, Nikki James and Clark Johnson, two of whom that I will get into in spoilers. But let's just say it seems like Disney is obviously using these two to fill in two roles that are currently gone, I guess, after the first episode. Overall, the first episode wasn't too bad at all. I mean, even though some of the VFX was kind of iffy at moments, it's still a solid opening and a pretty good setup, a pretty good pilot. It gives us an alright idea as to where the show is going, what's gonna happen with our characters. It got me excited for more, so when I got to episode 2, it took a very interesting, fascinating, and I guess more serious route. Episode 2 just slows the fuck down. I mean, holy shit, that episode felt so goddamn long because nothing really happens. We follow around Matt Murdock, who's just trying to live his life as a defense attorney because he's given up the Daredevil life. And no, that's not a spoiler because anyone who's seen the trailer knows that's what happens somewhere at some point in the show. It just happens to happen in the very first episode, just letting you know. But holy shit, episode 2 is such a goddamn slog to get through. I mean, I can't believe this is the direction we're going, and I was hoping for this case that he's taking on to be at least somewhat interesting, and it does get spicy at certain moments, but not enough to keep me wanting to see more of this plot line. Then again, maybe I just gotta wait for more episodes to make this plot line more interesting. Not a bad episode by any means, and definitely felt a lot more like the Netflix Daredevil that we know. But it's not taking place in Hell's Kitchen anymore, it is in New York City, so there's definitely a different vibe they got going on here. So my overall non-spoiler thoughts on the first 2 episodes is, it's a solid start to a very rocky production. And from everything we've seen so far, this character, this franchise, this story of Daredevil has not been ruined by Marvel and Disney yet. Let us pray and hope that they don't screw this up, because this might just be the final straw, okay? Don't fuck this up, Marvel, alright? We all know about the reshoots and rewrites, the new hires of directors and writers. Okay, this shit better be fucking good at the end, alright? Every single episode needs to be fucking solid. It needs to be good. It needs to prove to us that all this time we waited for, it needs to be fucking worth it. Alright, onwards to spoilers. Foggy dying in the opening of this series just rubs me the wrong way after thinking about it. Especially after learning that Karen Page moved to San Francisco after Foggy dies. What the fuck was that? Is this how they're getting rid of 2 of our 3 main characters? As badass and shocking that opening is, I can't help but wonder if this was purposely done to get rid of 2 white lead actors, because we can't have that anymore. No. We can't have more than 1 or 2 leading white people in a show or movie or franchise or whatever. Okay, we need to add some color in there. We already have Charlie Cox, who is an English actor. Okay, he's a white guy, and we have Vincent D'Onofrio, who is an American white guy too. We need to sprinkle some black people in there. I can't shake this feeling that Clark Johnson and Nikki James are in this show to replace Foggy Nelson and Karen Page. I cannot be the only one putting the pieces together. Unless Karen Page comes back in a later episode, I'm just gonna keep viewing these new actors and actresses as a diversity quota feeling thing. Nothing against them. Nikki James and Clark Johnson do a fine job, but why are they here? I understand why Karen moved to San Fran and Matt's now in New York because they're sad, they're heartbroken, and they want to get away from Hell's Kitchen because it reminds them of Foggy and where they used to work together. But seriously, with all the marketing talking about how Foggy Nelson and Karen Page are back, the actor and actress going on interviews talking about their return, and this is how you repay them? You just fucking get rid of them within the first like half of the first episode? I'm calling bullshit. I'm having a hard time sticking with this new direction. I'm just gonna stick with the idea that yes, they were just replaced by 2 black actors because we can't have 3 lead actors who are white, or 4 if you want to count Kingpin. Speaking of 4, Fantastic Four has Pedro Pascal casted as Mr. Fantastic, and I think we all know why. Oh my god, 4 leading white people? We need to get at least turn someone into like an off-white character that will at least somewhat be believable as this character. Let's get Pedro Pascal because he worked as Joel in The Last of Us. He'll definitely work as Mr. Fantastic. I love Pedro Pascal, but I still don't understand why he was casted. And you know what? I'm not even gonna rant about it because Jester Bell does a great job talking about it, gets all the thoughts that I've been thinking of out there. Back to the episode though, yes, the fight between Bullseye and Daredevil was pretty good when it wasn't like covered in CGI or some bullshit, man. God, what happened there? When Foggy dies and Matt just fucking tosses Bullseye off the roof, I mean, damn! Woohoo! That was pretty fucking awesome, dude! It's such a fantastic callback to John Bernthal's Punisher.
You know what I think, you hero? You know you're one bad day away from being me.
Matt is definitely just one bad day from becoming him, and I'm so goddamn excited to see this new Daredevil, this reborn or born again. If there's one character that feels very different from the Netflix series, it's Kingpin. I don't know what they got going on, or the character direction or acting direction that Vincent D'Onofrio is being given, but there's definitely something going on. Perhaps after the events of Echo on Hawkeye, things have changed him, things have affected him, and now he's sort of like a different person. Kinda. A part of me kinda likes this new direction though, because it's different, it's spicy, and he's kinda unpredictable. I mean, holy shit, we got him smiling, laughing, kind of giggling at certain moments too. I mean, damn. Okay, this new Kingpin is something else. I love the tension between Matt and Wilson. I mean, it is just fan-fucking-tastic, especially their conversation at the diner. I mean, that is some great top-notch writing. It's very clear that the past has not been forgotten between these two, and I love the fact that there is this sense of what's that thing like those John Wick and the other guy said?
Consider it a professional courtesy.
And I love the way this first episode ends with Wilson Fisk on top of the world on the roof with Vanessa while Matt is on the ground looking up with red flashing to the side of him. I mean, really, really great stuff. Getting into episode 2 was pretty depressing, especially after episode 1's exciting ending. I love the detail of Matt always pocketing the funeral program or memorial card of Foggy. That is just a touch of characterization, and it is fantastic. It really just lets the audiences know that he's still grieving. He's still struggling to grasp the death of his best friend. So it definitely offended me when we get to see that he's in a whole new office with Nikki James and working with Clark Johnson to investigate and help do whatever the fuck he's doing as a DA. Characters and actors who can be and are likable, but I would much prefer if Foggy or Karen was there instead. Or maybe just bring back Detective Mahoney, who's been in the Daredevil series since season 1, Marvel. Matt taking on this case, and it turns out the guy he's representing is the White Tiger. That was pretty cool, but I don't know who the White Tiger is, and I've never seen him in action other other than saving that guy in the subway when he wasn't even wearing the suit. The only thing we got of White Tiger was that little fucking like replay of him in the TV of the opening scene in episode 1. So already there's a lack of connection with this character to audiences because we've never seen him or heard of him, which kills the twist and reveal of him being White Tiger. But then again, maybe that's not the point. Maybe they weren't trying to create some big twist reveal, whatever, but I don't know, okay? It was just kind of whatever to me. I just don't know him. It is really cool seeing how Matt is trying to live his life without Daredevil, which is probably the biggest takeaway of this episode. Instead of running around at night beating criminals up, he'll use his abilities to stake out a police officer in hopes that that guy will lead him to the witness he needs, which of course happens, and he calls his detective friend to go and pick the guy up, or go wait at a location to pick the guy up, because you know what happens in the episode. Matt gets to the apartment first and warns him to get out of there, leading into probably the best sequence of the first 2 episodes so far. When those 2 cops decide to just beat the fuck out of Matt, I was just like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's gonna let the devil out. And they decide to shoot him, and Matt just beats the life out of both these guys. That arm snap. Oh my god. And the flip on the main police guy, I mean, holy shit. He might be dead because of the way his head hit the ground and everything. I mean, oh my god. I mean, obviously, most likely Matt didn't kill them, but damn, he brought them close to death. Matt definitely just crippled the fuck out of these guys, and ooh, I am all for it, baby. This was the closest we've gotten to a Netflix Daredevil. The tightness, close, you know, claustrophobia and shit, you know? I mean, the way it was shot, the choreography, well, the choreography probably could have been a little better. It was a little weird seeing how Matt just like fucking threw the guy twice into the fridge. That was strange, but for the majority of it, it was awesome. Those are my spoiler thoughts on these first 2 episodes. I am excited to see more, but definitely a bit apprehensive, a bit scared and worried and, you know, sussed out. A little suspect of Disney and Marvel and what they're doing, this direction and these new characters. But overall, I do want to watch more episodes. I'm hoping that it gets better. I mean, that's all we can do, right? With all the latest Marvel and Disney projects. Hope that they at least have some consistency of goodness in them, you know? Hope that Disney does not ruin these characters. Anyways, let me know what you think below in the comments. Did I get anything wrong with the whole diversity thing? Am I going about it the wrong way? I would genuinely like to hear what you guys have to say about it. All right, that's enough of me. I'll catch you guys next time.
I'm so unstoppable, and you confused this obstacle. I turn the heat up, you melt like a popsicle. I tell them anything's possible, especially when I'm toting on the tropical. And I make you say sorry when I'm robbing you. 1 for the money, 2 fuck you. I'm the hottest thing running through the city. Believe that, I don't never relax. I be with a green at. Who give a fuck about a hater? Say the